think I speak for all introverts when I say our personality type is widely misunderstood. Anytime I make mention of being an introvert in a video, I get a plethora of comments about how that just can't be possible. Some claim it's impossible to be introverted and have a YouTube channel. Some say it's because of the way in which I speak. Some suggest I can't possibly have friends and be an introvert, all of which are incredibly false. What I've noticed is that many people are assuming being an introvert is synonymous with being socially awkward, scared to speak, spends all day every day by themselves, and hates the entire human population. And that is where they're wrong. Well, except for the hating other people part, sometimes that might be true. But really, to the surprise of many, being an introvert does not even mean that you're inherently quiet, although I'm sure there's a strong correlation there. There are a million definitions floating around, but the easiest way to think about it is, where do you derive your energy from? Do you recharge from being alone in your own thoughts, or do you get energy from being in social settings and interacting with others? At a high level, that's the only real differentiator between introverts and extroverts, in my opinion.
You know, I've spent a lot of time in my life in different gyms all across the US, and there's a common theme I've noticed amongst people that kind of do the same thing that I do, that spend the majority of their free time right here, and that is, most of us tend to be introverted people. And I think that that makes sense because for the most part, this is an individual thing. You know, I mean, you might have a gym buddy, but for most of us, we come in here alone. We have an hour to two to just kind of get in our own head and think about whatever it is that we want. And we don't really have to be bothered with the outside world. We have our music on and we're just kind of zoned out. And I've also noticed a lot of us, we've all been through something in our lives that we're probably trying to get away from. I'm no psychologist, right? I'm just thinking out loud here. But for me, this is a place of peace. I don't even know that I like lifting weights that much. I think I just convinced myself that I do because it blocks out a period of time where I can be by myself and just kind of space out.
Speaking personally, I do tend to fall into the category of being a loner. I've always been more of a lone wolf. I find solitude by spending time alone, and it has allowed me to really develop into exactly the person that I've wanted to become. But I know plenty of introverts who spend a fair amount of time with other people, both fellow introverts and extroverts. I think there's a misconception that just because introverts may want to spend a Saturday night home reading or watching a movie, that it means that they're all unable to communicate or they have problems getting along with people. In fact, I might argue, with bias of course, that introverts are the best communicators of all, mainly because we tend to place more of an emphasis on listening and actually interpreting what is being said. I found those who gain their energy from social interactions have the tendency to force a conversation, and at times they may be talking but not really saying much of anything at all. I think there's something to be said about finding peace in silence, but again, I'm just speaking from my biased point of view. Personally, if I'm going out with people, I prefer that there be extroverts in the group. That way, I feel like there's less pressure on me to keep the conversation going. Alright, if anybody is local to Austin, Texas, and you need some furniture, hit me up, man. Even though it's probably all going to be gone by the time this video releases, I still got the couch, coffee table, end table. We got some bar stools. That's already sold. I believe the bed is already sold. And yeah, I think I might actually take that stand-up desk. I love that thing. You know, I will miss this place. It wasn't my favorite apartment that I've ever lived in. I think my favorite ever was that condo in Cincinnati, but had some great memories, except I will not miss this couch. It's a nice couch, but I just really resent IKEA after this whole experience. I was trying to get my apartment ready for Megan to visit for the first time, and it was very stressful, but I digress. For the last month or so, I've been using this app called Neighbors. It's by the company Ring, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. It's a doorbell that a lot of people have, video cameras so you can see what's going on outside your house and catch those filthy criminals.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
What's great about this app is all you have to do is log in, put in your address, and then you have a neighborhood crime watch right on your phone. It updates every day from users, a lot of them using the Ring devices, so you can actually see videos of people's cars getting broken into or see people stealing things like plants. I mean, there's this one person on here, this guy came up and stole all of their plants off their front porch. Not an entirely big deal, but you want to know when that type of activity is happening right around you. And you can also get on there to see lost animals or just updates right in your own neighborhood. So for me, I like to know what is going on, so I get on every day and just see what's happening, trying to stay safe out here because
we gon' find you so you can run and tell
It just makes it a lot easier to work with your neighbors to ensure where you live is as safe as possible. There's already millions of people using it, so you can get on there and find a lot of good information. So I highly suggest you guys go over to ring.com/Travis and download the Neighbors app. Again, that is ring.com/Travis. I really think you guys will get as much value out of it as I do.
Moving, no time for ticking. Introverted, not trying to kick it. Private life, please mind your business. Introverted these days. Introverted these days.
I am.
Can we be in your video?
Of course, man. You want to say anything to the people?
What's up, guys? We just moved here from Austin. Yeah, that's it.
That is definitely one of the things I will miss. The love for the YouTube channel here is second to none. I can't imagine any other city in the United States that would show me this much support and just, I guess, be progressive enough to really embrace YouTube, unless it's California, which, spoiler alert, I am not going to California. That feeling when you come to a store for one thing and one thing only, and you find it. Ma Tea. These are the energy drinks of the century. This is what you all need in your lives. So, energy drinks typically not very good for you. Check out these ingredients. Let me just show this to you real quick. Everything in here is organic and legit. This is something that everybody needs to go to their local Whole Foods, and if you don't have them, ask for them. So I went ahead and got every flavor. Word on the street, the lemon ginger is the GOAT. They taste good and they just give you a long-lasting source of energy without feeling like crap afterwards. It's just the complete energy drink.
Guys, it's just me, myself and these people faking, man, that's no surprise. I be on the road, man, I be all alone, man, I've been feeling low, man, so
I'm going to be doing something that I don't often do on Saturday nights, and that is leave my apartment. I've got some friends in town for a bachelor party, some friends from back home that I have not seen in a while. I'm gonna head over to their Airbnb. They're staying on Lake Travis, which, if you guys are familiar with Austin, you know is one of the most beautiful parts of the city. Now, personally, if I didn't spend all day alone, kind of recharging and getting in my own thoughts, then going out and interacting and socializing with other people would be very difficult. But now that I've kind of done that, I am able to go out and just, I guess, do normal types of things. But then I'll get to a certain point, it's like, okay, I've had enough, I gotta go back. But I feel like so many people that watch these videos are kind of like me, so I think that we can kind of share these experiences. Oops, this person was behind me the whole time. Didn't even know.
In conclusion, I became a lot happier when I stopped judging myself based on what I thought I was supposed to be. Whether you're an introvert, extrovert, or little Uzi-vert, I think we'd all be better off if we stopped looking for permission to be ourselves. By nature, my personality type is INFJ, and it would be deceptive to try to be anything but that. I feel no obligation to fit into any stereotype, norm, or box that any outsider tries to put me in, because when it's all said and done, all I really want to be is me.
I be on the road, man, I be all alone, man. You know, sometimes, you know, we just feel lost.
You already know we got the poverty brownie, we got some rice cakes going on, and thankfully, we have bed coming up very, very soon. It was so good to see some old friends. If you're anything like me, it's always hard to convince myself to actually go out, but I never regret it once I do, at least typically not, especially if I get home at a decent time, but it's also 10:35 right now, and I'm already like, all right, it is time to go to bed. But I really do hope that some of you got something out of this video. I'm guessing a lot of you could relate, or if you couldn't, maybe you just learned a little something. Thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to watch. If you don't mind dropping the video a like, I would really, really appreciate that, and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I look forward to talking to you guys next time.
Had your kids, had your wife, had your kids, had your wife, had your kids, had your wife, and had your husband, 'cause they bring everybody out here.